Imagine being born into the most protected bloodline on Earth, only to become the one person that even the hired help refuses to touch. Right now, behind the velvet curtains of Sandringham, a silent mutiny is unfolding. The royal machine is built on two things: absolute loyalty and total silence. But for the first time in history, that machine has broken. Staff members, people trained for decades to be invisible and obedient, are reportedly flat out refusing to serve Andrew. This isn't just a scheduling conflict, it's a total collapse of authority. We're talking about employees being given an unprecedented choice to opt out of his presence, because his reputation has become that toxic. But the real story isn't just the staff's rebellion, it's the timing. Why did the king suddenly move him to an isolated cottage in the dead of night, just 72 hours after a fresh mountain of evidence dropped in the US? As we peel back the layers, you'll see that this wasn't a relocation, it was a forensic cleaning of the royal brand. Stick around until the end, because we've uncovered a specific detail about the new property he's being moved to next that reveals exactly what the family is still trying to hide from the public. If you want the deep stories the palace tries to bury, told fast and straight to the point, hit that subscribe button and join us. This story is moving faster than the headlines can keep up with. Sandringham operates on iron discipline. In this world, you don't choose who you serve, you follow the schedule, or you find a career elsewhere. That's why recent reports from the estate are sending shockwaves through the monarchy. A conscience clause has allegedly been issued to the staff, giving them an unprecedented choice. They are not required to serve him if they feel uncomfortable or uneasy in his presence. Think about the weight of that. For the first time in modern history, the palace has admitted that a member of the family is so toxic that their own employees cannot be forced to interact with them. It's a total collapse of the royal hierarchy. Sources say there is already a long list of staff members saying no thanks to duties at Wood Farm, leaving him to be managed by a skeleton crew. Some insiders even suggest he may soon have to do the unthinkable: open his own front door. This isn't just a staffing issue, it's a public signal that the protection once granted to him by the Crown has officially evaporated. The move from the prestigious Royal Lodge to the isolated Wood Farm didn't happen by accident. It happened in the dead of night on February 2nd. If you look at the calendar, that was just 72 hours after the US Department of Justice dropped a bombshell: the release of 3.5 million pages of new Epstein evidence. While the world was busy scrolling through thousands of newly revealed emails and photos, he was being bundled into a car for a 130-mile journey under the cover of darkness. This wasn't a casual relocation, it was an evacuation. The timing makes it clear that the palace realized as long as he stayed in Windsor, just a stone's throw on the heart of the monarchy, he was a lightning rod for the newest wave of the scandal. They needed him gone, and they needed him isolated before the news cycle could swallow the royal brand whole. By the time the sun rose, he was tucked away in a remote corner of Norfolk, far from the prying eyes of the press and the public. But as he's finding out, you can change your address, but you can't outrun a 3-million-page paper trail. Wood Farm is a name that carries deep emotional weight inside the royal family, but for someone like him, it's a gilded cage. Tucked away in a remote corner of the 20,000-acre Sandringham estate, this modest 5-bedroom farmhouse was famously the sanctuary where Prince Philip spent his retirement years. It's a place designed for fading away, not for high-status living. But don't let the farmhouse label fool you. He isn't roughing it. Reports indicate that King Charles is privately funding his brother's entire lifestyle here, from the security detail to the specialized staff. This isn't just brotherly support, it's a containment strategy. By keeping him on a private estate and paying the bills from his personal fortune, the king has essentially purchased his brother's invisibility. He has been stripped of his annual £1 million allowance and forced into a climb down, where he's reportedly limited to just 2 personal staff members, a chef and a valet. But even this isolation isn't enough for the palace. He's currently awaiting a second move to a property called Marsh Farm, which is being fitted with high-security fencing and advanced CCTV. It's clear that the monarchy isn't just looking for a new home for him, they are building a perimeter. He's being kept comfortable enough to remain quiet, but isolated enough to ensure he can never again overshadow the crown.
For years, Beatrice and Eugenie were his last line of defense. They were the ones who stood by him when the public turned away, reportedly believing the version of the story they were told at home. But that wall of family loyalty is finally crumbling. According to royal author Robert Jobson, the sisters now feel pretty duped by the entire ordeal. It turns out they were told the same story he gave to the late Queen and the King, that he had done nothing wrong. But as the 2026 evidence release began showing a different reality, that trust vanished. The shift was visible to the entire world this past Christmas. While he was excluded from the family gathering, his daughters made a high-profile appearance walking alongside King Charles and Queen Camilla. It was a calculated, public declaration of where their loyalties now lie. Insiders say Eugenie has gone Brooklyn Beckham level, completely cutting off contact with her father, while Beatrice is struggling to walk a fine line between family love and professional survival. They aren't just daughters anymore, they are mothers protecting their own children from a legacy that has become toxic. The York unit has officially fractured, and without his daughter's support, he isn't just an exiled royal, he's a man who has lost his final allies.
This whole situation is a chilling look at a monarchy in survival mode. This isn't just about someone being unpopular or a family having a disagreement. It's about the royal family quietly treating a former favourite son like a structural defect that can't be fixed, only contained. Between the staff mutiny at Sandringham, the midnight relocation to a high-security gilded cage, and the heartbreaking silence from his own daughters, the walls aren't just closing in, they are being rebuilt to lock him out. The king has made his choice. The crown comes before the brother. By funding his isolation and stripping his honours, the monarchy is hoping to slowly turn a global scandal into a forgotten footnote. But as long as new evidence keeps surfacing and the public keeps asking questions, he remains a reputational time bomb. This isn't just a house move, it's the beginning of a permanent erasure. But here is the detail that the palace is most desperate to hide. While he sits in seclusion at Wood Farm, workmen were just spotted at Marsh Farm, his permanent home, installing high-speed internet and advanced satellite equipment. It suggests that even in total exile, the monarchy is terrified of him becoming a loose cannon and is doing everything to keep him occupied and under their digital thumb. So what do you think? Is the king truly trying to protect the family, or is this just a way to keep a dangerous witness silent? Drop your thoughts in the comments, I'll be reading them. And if you want to stay updated on the deep stories the palace tries to bury, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. The royal family may be trying to shut the door on this story, but we're just getting started.